Hi, it's All Action No Plot, talking all things Tottenham Hotspur. Today asking, will Gareth Bale come back to Spurs? I'm going to look at 4 different aspects to this. The reason I'm asking it is because it's the rumour that never goes away. It never dies. It's like a hydra, you chop off its head and it just keeps coming back at you. And frankly, what else is there to do at this time of the season? We've got a couple of weeks between now and the Champions League final, so what else is there to do but speculate about transfers that will never happen? So firstly, on the pitch, is he the right sort of player for us? Well, absolutely. 100% yes. Whatever the question is, the answer is definitely, without doubt, Gareth Bale. Just look at the number of times this season alone that we've screamed out for a player like Gareth Bale. We've struggled to break down teams, we've passed it left, we've passed it right. Other teams have defended deep. Oh my goodness, how much we have needed somebody with the ability to produce magic out of nothing. Gareth Bale can pick the ball up from deep, he can run with it, he can terrify defenders, he can shoot from distance. I mean, obviously I'm preaching to the converted here, you've all seen him play, we've all seen him play in our colours, but my goodness, there is no argument, he would be a tremendous asset to the team. You'd imagine his work rate off the ball would keep Pochettino happy, he's never exactly been a shirker. He does have a bit of an injury record, it is true. He's 29, heaven forbid. But let's face it, we have Eric Lamela, who's pretty much always injured, and we persist with him. I don't think this is going to be an issue in terms of Gareth Bale. Secondly, there's the team ethic that Pochettino is cultivating. Just look at the celebrations in Amsterdam. Not about the individuals, it was all about the team. The entire squad was celebrating. Even the kit man was there sliding on his knees. Pochettino does not countenance egos. Again, if you think back to his early days, he didn't waste much time in elbowing people out of the door if he saw them as a potentially disruptive influence. Then there's Gareth Bale, a Galactico, a world superstar. Now, obviously, I don't know the chap personally, but you get the impression he doesn't have that much of an ego, despite being one of the biggest names in world football. I'm sure he does have his moments, but nevertheless, all things considered, I would suspect that this would not be a barrier to him coming back to Spurs. Thirdly, is he a Tottenham sort of transfer target? Well, in a word, no. We tend to go for the younger players who haven't quite made it and who we can then develop and sell on at a profit. I'm thinking Juan Foyth, Davinson Sanchez. Alternatively, we go for those slightly older players, not quite so young, but who haven't quite made it at their own club for whatever reason. Players like Lucas Moura, for example. Bale would be completely different. He's a Galactico. We never buy these sorts of players. Obviously, it would be tempting if the price were right, and he's got familiarity with us, we've got familiarity with him, but nevertheless, it's almost impossible to imagine Levy and Pochettino going in for this sort of signing. And finally, wages, salary, well, this basically blows the whole argument out of the water. This is pretty much why no one really believes that Bale's coming back to us. The loan fee would be £10 million, which I think even Daniel Levy wouldn't mind paying. I'm not exactly privy to the ins and outs of it all, but apparently Bale is on £600,000 a week. Real Madrid have very generously agreed, apparently, to stump up half of this salary if they loan him out. But if Real Madrid are paying half the salary, that still leaves £300,000 a week that Gareth Bale would expect to be paid, unless he took a pay cut. There's no way Spurs are going to pay £300,000 a week for anybody. So the only conceivable way in which I can see this working is if Real stump up their £300,000, Bale agrees to a massive salary cut of, say, £400,000 a week, leaving Spurs to pay another £100,000 a week on top of the £10 million loan transfer fee. Personally, I think there's more chance of us signing Pele, but let me know what you think. Stick a comment below and do check out the blog allactionnoplot.com.